Guys. Hope all's well. We're doing the digestive system today. Email me, earned, or just need help. Today, gastrointestinal tract, and this is where everything that touch food from beginning to end is located. So this is the entry to exit. There are 4 main functions to the digestive tract. You have function 1 is ingestion, the process in which your body takes in food. Function 2 is the digestion, which the process which your body breaks down food into pieces. You have absorption, and that's where the small intestine mainly does all the absorption via the blood, the red blood cells. That's where all the food is absorbed. And then function 4 is elimination, the process of excreting waste materials. During these 4 processes, there are 5 main organs that your food comes into contact with. So first organ is the mouth. Here the food is chewed and swallowed. That's called mechanical digestion, when the act of actually chewing the food happens. Saliva, that's produced by the salivary glands, and that helps to break down the food, makes it easier for the food to go down the esophagus. And there's also lots of enzymes located in the saliva to help break it down in the mouth before it even gets to the stomach. The esophagus, that's organ 2. It's a foot-long tube. It contracts through a series called peristalsis. The contractions pushes the food down into the stomach. So all along the esophagus, you have muscles. And those muscles are bringing the food to the stomach in a series of contractions called peristalsis. So you're going to feel, doing a handstand, the food sometimes still can go down through these contractions. The stomach, that's organ 3. Here, the food is broken down even further by acids and enzymes. Mechanical digestion, both happens in the stomach. This is the main organ of digestion itself because it has a layer of mucus. So that keeps it from digesting itself. And the stomach is full of hydrochloric acid to help break down food and other enzymes and juices. And once it is broken down as much as it can, it creates this stuff called chyme, which is a paste, and then it's released into the small intestine. The organ 4 is the small intestine, a 23-foot-long tube that is lined with villi. This villi increases surface area to allow for faster absorption into the blood stream. So the villi is located, as you can see in the picture, it's located in the inside. It lines the intestine, and that's where the red blood cells come and pick up the food. So if you're having a problem with the villi, say if you are celiac, so you have celiac disease, that means you can't tolerate gluten. So you rip that villi apart, and that's why people who have celiac disease shouldn't have gluten, because then they can't digest their food properly. Main function of the small intestine is to secrete chemicals that break down food and carry the nutrients away in the bloodstream. One word, absorption. Thank you, Homer. Organ 5 is the large intestine, a 7-foot-long tube, secretes mucus, reabsorbs water, contains bacteria to aid in digestion. So basically the main job is taking the food, okay? It's just to reabsorb the water that you need. The large intestine is also known as the colon. So remember, the colon has 3 main parts, and then you have finally the rectum and the anus at the end there. The next section is called the accessory organs. Now, the accessory organs are pretty important. They're just as important as the other organs. They just don't have food going through them. Salivary glands. This is that produces that saliva with loads of enzymes that help the food go down to the esophagus easier. Organ 2 is the liver. Notice all of the jobs of the liver. Super important. They do a lot. They maintain blood glucose levels. They break down lipids and fats. They metabolize protein. They store vitamins. They destroy damaged RBCs. They remove toxins. They secrete bile. Wow, liver does a lot. Can't live without your liver. Okay, so remember toxins. Toxins are things like, even if you're taking aspirin or alcohol or whatever foreign that comes into your body, it's your liver's job to try to deal with that. And the gallbladder. So the gallbladder works with the liver. Speaking of gallbladder, This is where the storage of bile happens. What is bile? Well, it helps break down fat. Now, you might say, well, my grandmother had her gallbladder removed or something like that, and that's fine. Keep in mind that the gallbladder does have a job. It's not like the appendix where it doesn't play a role. It has a job, but if you get it taken out, you can live without it, and your body will just figure out another way to digest fats. Organ 4 is the pancreas. Secretes insulin and pancreatic amylase, which breaks down sugars and carbohydrates. And the pancreatic juice also breaks down fats. Now, the pancreas, right there underneath the stomach, pretty important. So you might think, oh, I never heard of the pancreas. What does that do exactly? Well, you know all those sugars and carbs that you need to eat every day to maintain your health and have your energy? Well, it's the job of the pancreas to make sure it breaks those things down. So it's a pretty important organ, and you can't live without it. There are essential nutrients that we need in our body that we can't produce. So things like essential fatty acids, phospholipids. Remember, we talked about the cell membrane earlier this year, and there is important cholesterol that we need. So it's bad cholesterol, good cholesterol. Speaking of amino acids, there are 20, remember. We can make 12. That leaves 8 to consume. So right there is your essential amino acids that we need to get from food, or you can get it from protein shakes or whatever. So vitamins, they broke up into 2 categories: water soluble, the B's, the C's; fat soluble, the A, the D, E, the K. And they work with the enzymes to help get what you need. Minerals, you can also find some of these in your daily vitamin, your multivitamin, or maybe you get it from the food you eat. So such as calcium and iron. Small amounts, trace amounts, but need them nonetheless. Okay, so that is the digestive system, folks. Hope all is well, and email me with any questions.